Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, July 6th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got MLB action tonight, Thursday night, baseball, Mariners, Astros. It's going to be tough. We already know the Astros, regardless if they got Yordan Alvarez or if they have a few other injuries in the starting lineup, they can still beat anybody on the planet. They are still one of the better teams in Major League Baseball. It may not be the Astros and Yankees at the top. Now it's the Rangers and the Rays, but it wouldn't surprise me if the a couple teams like the Astros and the Yankees possibly make a little bit of a run late for the American League. We got the All-Star game coming up right around the corner in my hometown team area in Seattle. Home Run Derby and a lot of other cool things coming up in the next couple days. But for the time being, today, tomorrow, and I believe Saturday, we're going to have a 3-game set against the Astros, and we got to find a way to win 2 out of 3. And the surprising thing is we've actually won 2 out of the first 3 matchups already. First game in May, 6-4 Astros. And then obviously the last 2, 7-5 Mariners, 3-1 Mariners. So very, very surprising. I don't know if we're going to be able to have the same kind of result, but we will see. George Kirby on the mound, Ronel Blanco on the mound for the Astros. So Kirby got All-Star game as a alternate, which is very cool. And I'm definitely excited to see how things kind of play out moving forward. So let's go, baby. Let's go over some of the starting lineups here. And we'll go with the thumb as well. Had to put Kirby on it. A little Jeremy Pena. All right, leading off for the Mariners, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting third, first baseman, Ty France. Batting fourth and playing in right field, Teoscar Hernandez. Batting fifth, left fielder, Jared Kelenic. Batting sixth, third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. Batting seventh, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting eighth, DHing for Seattle, Mike Ford. And batting ninth for the Mariners, second baseman, Jose Caballero. And on the mound, our all-star, George Kirby. Let's go, baby. Let's go, George. And then let's go over the Astros lineup here as well. Make sure everything is set up here. All right, let's go to the Astros here. All right, leading off for the Astros, second baseman, Mauricio Dubon. Batting second, third baseman, Alex Bregman. Batting third, right fielder, Kyle Tucker. Batting fourth, cleanup, first baseman, Jose Abreu. Batting fifth, DHing for Houston, Yanier Diaz. Batting sixth, center fielder, Chas McCormick. Batting seventh, shortstop, Jeremy Pena. Batting eighth, left fielder, Corey Jokes. And batting ninth, catcher, Martin Maldonado. And on the mound for the Astros, Ronel Blanco. Let's go, baby. Should be a good one. Let's go, baby. All right, first pitch looks like it's going to be in about 5 minutes. Paisley is all situated, and I think we are ready to go. Been trying to catch up with a lot of Shark Fest, which is on National Geographic all month long, and then we got Shark Week coming up with Jason Momoa, Aquaman, kind of doing the lead role for that on the Discovery Channel. And those have been going on for years and years and years. And it's kind of nice because I know when Shark Week and Shark Month and Shark Fest and anything shark related is on, we're close to the All-Star game. And that means we're getting closer to football for NFL and college football. So I always get excited and I try to watch everything that they do in Shark Fest and obviously Shark Week on Discovery. So. Sarah in the building. What's good? Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's do it. Hope everyone is out. How are you feeling today? You feeling a little bit better today, or are you still feeling a little under the weather? Yeah, but I definitely like the original content that we're able to get when they end up doing Shark Fest or a Shark Week. I know not everyone cares for it, but I mean, I do love Discovery, History, Nat Geo, and Animal Planet. You know, I'm going to go to cartoons typically as my go-to, especially stuff from the 80s first or the 90s, and then some current stuff too. But gosh, I love it. I love it. It's just very interesting, and they're getting better and better with technology and tagging and being able to see like shark behavior. And it's cool because they're quite different when you get them on the Nat Geo side and on the Discovery side. Discovery is going to make it a little bit more kind of mainstream in Hollywood because they'll have a lot of guests on there. And then Shark Fest on Nat Geo is just straight business. You know, they're going to go over and give you the amazing shows, and then you get those amazing shows with some of the special celebrities on that end. Sour in the building. Let's go, Kirby. Redemption time, baby. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you get better. And then if you need to go, just let me know at any point, and hopefully we'll have someone else be able to fill in if needed. But again, we're going to grind it out. I'm going to be doing the next, 3 Astro games, and we're going to be going into the home run derby. I know we got a futures game that's coming up, I think, on maybe on Apple or I think maybe Peacock. I think it's a Peacock exclusive. And just a couple years ago, if you go back and look at the roster, I mean, you had Bobby Witt Jr., Julio, Kelenic, Gorman. There was a lot of talent there. So I might end up, considering doing something like that. But if it ends up being on around the same time as the Astro game and the Mariners, then I'm going to go for that one instead. But I am kind of curious to kind of see the futures, because normally the guys that play in the game this year, they start to break out in about a year or two. And then they get called up. And then in a year or two, they're on the team. And then they either break out immediately, like Julio, or it maybe takes another year for like someone like Kelenic to find their way. So very cool. But I was actually looking at the roster from the game that Gorman played and Julio and Kelenic. I mean, there are amazing players. Like I can't even tell you how many names I saw. I was just scrolling down and I saw probably like 10 or 12 names that are names. They're like actually a force in the league or up and coming already. And that was, I think, from the 2020 futures game, I want to say. And usually it takes them a year or two to get called up, and then boom, then you get some good results there. So all right, I got to pause some of the Shark Fest, and looks like we're good to go here. Let's go, baby. Awesome. Awesome. I've never heard of them, but I obviously you can fill me in, a little bit with some of these people that I'm not familiar of, that maybe have only got a little bit of time, or maybe you've heard of them, you know, triple A or double A, single A. Let's go. Let's go. And surprisingly, turn this down here. So surprisingly, we won 2 out of the first 3. So there is a chance that we can actually get this. I don't know. We're definitely not sweeping, but the best case scenario is 2 for 3. I would love to be at 500, when we go into the All-Star break or a game behind. We're not going to be able to be a game ahead. And the only way that happens, I believe, is what? We sweep. So, I mean, we're 42 and 43. So I guess we could win, be 43, 43, 44, and 43, 44. So I guess technically if we sweep, we can be 2 games above 500. But even if we go 2, out of 3 games, then that would put us at 44 and 44. So I think that's what we need to shoot for. So, realistic goals, we're not going to sweep, but if we go 2 out of 3 like we did earlier, right? If we do that, then we're going to be not good, shitty, but average shitty with still a chance to pounce, after the All-Star game in Seattle, gain some momentum, go 44 and 44 and try to be a little bit better in the second half. So let's go, baby. Kirby on the thumb. I was going to do Julio and Jeremy Pena, but I was like, no, anytime it's going to be a stud pitcher, yeah. And then if we don't have a good matchup, then I can throw Julio or someone else in there. But we got to make sure we're giving awareness, for baseball fans that there's more than Julio in Seattle. If no one really watches Seattle on a regular basis besides me. So come on, baby. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, first baseman Ty France. Let's go, baby. And on the mound for the Astros, Ronel Blanco. Got to give them love, too. We know their history, and they got no Altuve and no Yordan Alvarez, right? But just like with Aaron Judge not being on the Yankees, it doesn't matter. They're so good typically without him. I know Yankees can't hit worth a shit. Their pitching is good, but the Astros have more hitters than the Yankees. So I would assume, and Judge's injury sounds not very good. Sounds like when he comes back, he may not be literally 100%. This injury has been much worse than reported. So I don't think you're going to get the Yankees in the World Series this year, even if they got hot late. But I definitely think the Astros could sneak up on the Rangers or Rays in the second half of the season. They're very, very good, as we know. All right, here we go. Top of the first. First pitch. Fouled off. Let's go, baby. No shutouts, bitches. Let's go. Popped up. Jokes. Went away. Yeah, I like it when we have Altuve playing as well as Yordan Alvarez. I want the best of the best. I don't want any fucking excuses, garbage can, Apple Watches, whatever you want to come up with. You know what I mean? Just take your L, admit that you cheated, and let everyone know that you're sorry. But it just seems like Astro fans are like Patriot fans. They don't really want to admit that they did anything wrong. Championship, I mean, that's all you hear. And it's very hard for other fan bases to get along with other fan bases that are like that. Just admit that you were wrong and you cheated, and then, we can slowly get over it. But if you're going to deny and act like nothing happened, or just, kiss your rings like they did in that fucking Simpsons and Family Guy episode, rings. I get it. Championships are great, but when you're cheating, it doesn't mean anything. There's definitely a black eye on both of those franchises, To act like there's not a black eye is ridiculous. 2-0 count to Julio. Takes a strike. 2-1 count. Let's go, J-Rod. Stop going and swinging for those first 2 pitches. Take your time. All right? Let them know that you're the phenom that you are. Takes a pitch. 3-1 count. Look at this. It's a miracle. Julio's not swinging early, and he's got a 3-1 count. What is this? Has he been listening? Have you been listening, Julio? Big swing and a miss, 3-2 count. Come on, baby. And I'll take the, 3-1 count, 3-2 count. Top of the first, 3-2 pitch from Blanco. Julio struck him out. 2 up, 2 down, baby. J.P. Crawford, flied out, bye-bye. Julio Rodriguez struck out. Bye. Next up, first baseman, Ty France. Let's go, Ty. Big swing and a miss. Come on, France. 0-1 pitch to France. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 count. He's behind already. Come on, baby. Let's go, Ty. 0-2 pitch to France. Chop foul. Ooh, that's a souvenir. Come on, baby. Let's go, Ty. 0-2 pitch. Popped up. Is it in play? Good. About 10 rows back. Thank God. Ah, nice. All right, let's go, Ty. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Terrible top of the first for the Mariners. Not what we wanted. But again, we already know when you play Houston, it's not likely to get a win very often. But we did get 2 out of the first 3, so I'll take that. All right, let's go, George. We're gonna take care of business. All right, leading off for the Astros, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. Batting second, third baseman Alec Bregman. And batting third, right fielder Kyle Tucker. And on the mound for the Mariners, all-star George Kirby. Very cool that he made it. I know it means a lot. And, his stats are good. He is deserving. It'd be nice if Julio was smart enough to, understand that if you did get walks instead of trying to go for homers every time, like go for homers and then go for singles and contact hitter and then choose your spots for homers. And then if he can get to a point where he gets can get hit by a pitch like on the shoulder but not hurt him, and take walks from time to time and get on base and start stealing more bags, breaking records. He could really take his game to a whole nother level. He's got so much potential. He's got Hall of Fame potential. So it's just a matter of, are you going to be a perennial all-star or are you going to be one of the best in the world, up there with like a Judge and Ohtani when it's all said and done. And he's still very young. And again, he'll probably play for like 15 or 20 years. So this is year number 2. So we got a long, long road of quality baseball. So Kirby, first pitch, right to J.P. Crawford. France, 1 away. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Mauricio Dubon, sit down. Next up for the Astros, third baseman Alex Bregman. Let's go, George. Bregman 241, 12 homers, 54 ribbies in 2023. Popped up foul. Behind in the count 0-2 already. But the good thing is that we have George Kirby on the mound. That's the good thing that you have to think of. Out of anyone that could be pitching today, who would we want? Miller's injured, right? So this is the number one guy right now besides Miller. So And we know Louise and Logan can turn it on, hopefully, in the second half of the season. And I like what Woo's been doing. He's been progressing, and then hopefully we'll get Marco back, and he'll be fired too. We can just stay healthy and get everyone on the same page pitching wise, and just increase our batting average from like 225 to 230, as a team to like 250. That could be the difference us making the wild card or not. 2-2 count. I got a Dusty Baker eating some seeds there. I see you, Dusty. Dribbler right up the middle. Caballero. Got him. There we go. Good defense. Arnado homer. Nice. Let's go, baby. 2 up and 2 down. Pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Come on, George. I like Tucker a lot. There's a lot of guys on the team. I could be a Mariner fan and we could be rivals and whatnot, but I really like Tucker and Pena. Obviously, Yordan Alvarez is a beast. We already know that. And even with Altuve and the controversy, normally he's a pretty good player himself too. Him and Mookie are probably the best short players. That give you that boom with the bat. So in the zone, 2-1 count. We got to limit Tucker. If Tucker goes off, the Astros are going to win all 3 or possibly win 2 out of 3. If we can minimize his damage, we might be able to win 1, possibly 2. But he's a very, very quality player. And that's really the difference between me and a lot of other people. I'm not a hater. There's so many haters, and people that talk shit for just no reason. You can be a fan of the game. You can still be rivals and have that hate for, the team and each other. Right? You can still have that rivalry, but you can still appreciate good talent, I mean, there's plenty of Mariner players that if you added them to the Astro roster, Houston, fans would love it. Same thing, vice versa. I mean, hell, if we could get Pena and Tucker on the Mariners, you don't think the fans would be fucking jubilated with joy? Those guys are beast mode. And then Yordan is, we already know what he is. I mean, he's the only guy that can win the MVP besides Ohtani and Judge in the American League. Facts. Pitch is on the corner but low. 2-2 count. Now 3-2 count. Count is full. Oh, it's all good, man. I'm not one of the, I do up Mariner games pretty much almost every game. So no worries, bro. We can enjoy the game even if you guys start ripping us. And we walked them. Not a good start here for us. Good for you. It's all good, man. I mean, I really think if Astro fans in general just like admitted, of the scandal and then just move on, it's like, yeah, it's like you can be great. And we already know that regardless of the cheating or not, I think that they were good enough to win World Series without the cheating. I think that they were good enough to be amazing without the cheating. You know what I mean? I get it. A lot of people might be cheating and certain people get caught and whatnot, but it's just kind of a shame for, as far as the organization long term. But again, we're hopefully past the cheating, and there's still a World Series threat every year. So obviously, you better bring your A game when you play Houston. Otherwise, you're going to get blown out. Well, I think Yordan Alvarez and Judge. If Ohtani leaves to like the Dodgers, yeah, I mean it's going to be like a 2-person race, and then if each guy gets hurt, then it'll be up for grabs at that point. So yeah, but the extreme cheating though, like you guys took it to like a whole nother level. Like smart cheating, but like sneaky, mischievous cheating. But like taking it to like a whole nother level that no other team thought of. I mean, you guys ended up winning. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I think it's such a big deal. It's like with the garbage cans and the noise, because we already know the Red Sox did the Apple Watch thing, but they don't get hounded for cheating as much as the Stros. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Dodger fans that are upset. because they missed out on that championship. They ended up getting one a couple years later. I just think Astro fans in general, you're good enough to not have to do that. It's like Barry Bonds. He didn't have to cheat, but he wanted to be the best ever. He would have still made the Hall of Fame, but he wanted to get greedy and try to be the best ever. But if you cheat and get caught, then you're not going to the Hall of Fame, right? And your legacy is tarnished forever. Big swing and a miss. Got him. There we go. Abreu, sit down. I like that. Next up for the Mariners in the top of the second inning, right fielder Teoscar Hernandez. Batting second, left fielder Jared Kelenic. And batting third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, keep me posted on that. Let me know what's going on with it. Fuck, I haven't watched Impact in a long time. What channel is Impact? I don't even know what channel Impact is on. What channel is Impact on? Is Impact better than ROH or NXT? All right, baby, let's go. Rich Swan. Oh, okay. I remember him. Right down the middle, 1-1 count. Top of the second, 0-0. Come on, baby. Is there any other big names from like AEW or NJPW, ROH or WWE guys that got let go that are there besides those guys? Like who's their cornerstone? Pitches high. 3-1 count. Yeah, the cheating was definitely more extreme, and that's why it's a big deal. It's not just having someone with binoculars or using like an Apple Watch. So like, and I honestly don't think every team cheats. I really don't think so. I mean, I think some teams are really talented. They don't need it. They don't need. I mean, of course, it's going to be looking at analytics and trying to find certain advantages and whatnot. With the substances, to get more grip. But when you're starting to use technology or sound or spies, then you're taking your cheating to a whole nother level. So, because if you know what pitch is coming, that's the ultimate cheat, right? I mean, if you already know that when you hear something, it's going to be a curveball every time, you can hit homers off that, because that's part of being a good baseball player is not knowing what pitch is coming or having an idea based off the tape that you watch. And if they adjust, based on how they pitched you last or if they mix it up. But that's why the cheating scandal with them is so big. Because when you're using Apple Watches, that's one thing or another. That can help you minimally. But if you know exactly what pitch is coming, that's the ultimate. That's like, if you're talking about cheating at its extremest form, it's that. Bang, bang, curveball, bang, fastball. And so every time you hear that, you know. And if you look at all the batting averages of a lot of their guys, I mean. But with that being said, I mean, still good enough to win championships without cheating. 100%. I can be real about that. Very talented. But obviously, post Verlander, era, it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust. Frankie Kazarian. Oh, okay. Trinity. Fatu. Motor City Machine Guns. It's like a tag team, right? Come on, Gino. Pitch is high. 3-0 count. Let's go, baby. Three 0 pitch. Took a strike. 3-1 count. Big swing and a miss. 3-2 count. Come on, baby. Three-two pitch to Gino. Oh shit! Back, 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 back. Gone, baby. No, 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 no. Let's go. 2-0 Mariners. My boy. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes. Let's go. Okay, there are quite a bit of names there. Leo Rush. Okay. I mean, it sounds like it looks like it could be worth watching. 2 career hits versus Blanco, both home runs. I like that, baby. Hell yeah. Get him the fucking trident. Good job, Eugenio, my boy. 2-0 M. That's what we needed, baby. Fuck yeah. Yes. Got to win 2 out of 3 in this series. Let's go. Yeah. One 0 pitch. Pitch is low. 2-0 count. Oh, 1-1 count. Really? Cal Raleigh's like, really? Let's go, big dumper. Come on, baby. 2-0 M's. Chop foul. 1-2 count. Come on, Cal. 224 average, 11 homers, and 33 ribbies for the big dumper. His numbers are low, 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 low. They need to be better, but hopefully the second half of the season. Come on, baby. Even though he's struggling, still one of my favorite players. There we go. Good eye. Pitch is low and inside. 2-2 count. Two pitch for Blanco. Cal fouls it off. Come on, baby. 2-2 pitch. Ooh, inside. Almost hit him. Count is full. 3-2 count. Come on, baby. Let's go, Cal. Multiple photos, multiple results. Mike Ford on deck. Fandango. If I can find that channel, is it on like oh, look who it is. Oh my gosh. Man, I was gonna say, man, being able to see some of the original OGs, it always is a fantastic, sign, man. um, drive by. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. We love you. We miss you. And yeah, it definitely has been challenging. Thank you so much, man. Always for the mental health. Thank you. And I know you work a lot, and then the signal, obviously, they have it, jammed up and whatnot, but you always try to reach out when you can. And, I know I've helped you when you've been in a challenging place, and you definitely have helped me when I've been in a challenging place as well. Thank you, man, so much. You have no idea. There we go. $69 dono. Bang, bang, bang. Stacks on stack. Rex on Rex. Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And then hopefully I'll end up having a conversation at some point. So I'm not sure if you're still here or you just had to just dip real fast, which I know is usually how it goes. But I always try to keep touch. And I always got to message people like, that's just how I am. You're going to do something, to help me survive and do my dreams, and try to achieve my goals. It's a really big deal to me. So that's an OG right here. You already know, the support for certain people is amazing when people can't even be here. They got other stuff they got to do, but they just want to be able to come in and support and show love, whether that's with liking the video, sharing it, donating, or just hanging out for a little bit. So, all right, there we go. Much better than the last 2 days, huh, Sarah? Okay, so sometimes, you just got to go through the good days, the bad days, and the ugly days, right? And just keep it grinding, keep positive. Double play. End of the top of the second inning, but we got that 2-run jack by Eugenio Suarez. All right, well, I'm going to put up some Dodger photos. So even if he's not in the room, we will still honor, people that are going to take care of the channel like that, especially if they're going to do something like a $70, drive-by dono, and obviously with work and necessarily can't stay for a long period of time and whatnot, and it means a lot. So let's throw up a couple photos here for my boy, Mr. Williams. Big Dodger fan. Living there in California. Always working, always grinding. But I appreciate you very, very much, and try to bless you here with a few photos so that you may be able to watch later, or if you're in the bathroom or something, or outside on a break, and you can see what I put together here for you. And then when he has more time to hang out, then we can properly bless the timeline with some more whatever he wants, whether that be Aaron Donald or, some Dodger players, but got to sprinkle a couple in. Appreciate you, my guy, very much. Then I had one more Mookie. One more Mookie. Appreciate you, Mr. Williams, more than you'll ever know. Means a lot. Mookie Betts. Thank you, my guy. Oh, from Ascension. Oh my, the Legion of Doom Road Warrior clones, right? Wow, crazy. I even remember that name, but I guess if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you just don't forget stuff, really. All right, man. Good start for the Mariners. A 2-run homer on the road. We got to win 2 out of 3, and then we'll end up being 500, and that's the goal. We're not going to be able to sweep, but if we were to sweep, it would put us 1 game above 500, which isn't good, but still in striking distance of a wild card if we can go toe-to-toe with the Astros at the end of the year. We already know the Rangers are going to win the division, but can we keep up with the Stros? That's the real question. Most people say, hell no, but why not? We just got to get the hitting to match, the offense. On that production level, hitting, offense, to match the pitching. as well as maybe even the defense, which has been shaky. Little bloop single there. Next up, Chaz McCormick, runner at first, pitch inside, and then went wild behind him. 0-1 count. Cool photo. I like defensive photos. They're very rare. Usually it's always like batting or some kind of pose. I like the catching photos with the catchers, and I like the defensive photos, like guys diving for Supermaning for that fly ball or that line drive. Those are always the coolest. Pop foul, 0-2 count. $69. Let's get to a hundo. Yes, much, 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 much appreciated. Very much. That's a real one right there. Much love. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Mariners. Runner at first. Kirby on the mound. First time All-Star. Chaz McCormick in the box. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's go, George. 1-2 pitch. Popped up to center field to Julio, running back to the warning track and caught. Wow. 1 away. George is like, woo, my guy, Julio, let me play some defense for you. And that's why he's in the All-Star game. His batting average is low. Home runs could be better. A lot of things could be better. Him striking out so much and everything else, right? But he is a great base stealer, one of the best in Major League Baseball already. And he's really good at defense in the outfield. He's like Ken Griffey Jr. out there. And that's something that you don't see that often is great two-way players. And really, Julio's a three-way player because he can hit homers. He does fuck up and strike out and pop up and ground out more than he should, right? But he'll fix that. But he's a great offensive player. He's a great bag stealer. Runner on the bag's very good. And then the defense is amazing. So, Gold Glove quality. So he just needs to get the hitting to match the defense and the bags. And then you're going to see the true potential of Julio, where a guy, he might be able to hit 40 to 50 home runs, for a certain set of his career. I don't know if Julio's good enough to ever get to the point to get 60. That might be stretching it. But I definitely think 40 to 55, if he gets in his wheelhouse and learns to work the count and progressively gets better and better, I definitely could see that happening and, him turning into a perennial all-star and then a for-sure Hall of Famer. Like we already know, Judge and Ohtani are already Hall of Fame. It's too early. So winning Rookie of the Year is cool, but you got to be able to back up the hype. And there's always going to be a lot of eyeballs on Julio because he's a very likable player in Major League Baseball, probably top 5 most likable, just based on what other fans are saying that, as far as players. He's got a good attitude. Throw to second. Cabanero fucking up and not handling the baseball again. This motherfucker errors like every game. Jose, I love you, bro, but you cannot defend. We need to merge you and Colton Wong into one player. Offense, you're good. Defense, you suck. Come on. Josh in the building. What's good? He said, go Stros. But it probably will come down to the Astros and Mariners. Realistically, Astros are the better team, and more than likely, 90% chance they're going to make it over Seattle. But if we can get on like a 10 to 12 game win streak in the second half of the season, or have that fight with the Angels like we did last year, that might be something that would, need to happen for us to be able to overtake a team like this. I mean, I know Houston fans are probably surprised that, the Rangers are so good this year. But it's Bochy. That's the reason. Kirby pitches high, 1-1 count. Bottom of the second, 2-0 pitch. Kirby throw to first. Safe. Let's go, baby. You already know what it is. My guy. Yeah, because I think my top three players from last year going into this year, would have been Julio and then Kirby and then Cal. But then we got Bryce Miller. I loved his energy, and he's got it, and he's part of it now. So you just want to be able to root for the homegrown guys. Nothing against Castillo, love him, but when you draft a guy or when a guy comes up through your own farm system, it means more than just bringing a guy over from the Reds. We love a Castillo, but it just means more when it's Miller and Kirby, or a Cal, or a Julio, or a Kellenic. Homegrown guys are it's just something different. You want to make sure you get those guys supported properly. Jolks in the box, 2-2 pitch from Kirby. Fouled back. Count still stays 2-2. Two-run jack by Gino earlier to give us the 2-0 lead. We need to go 2 for 3 to be 500 at the All-Star break, so that's the goal for Mariner fans. We're not going to sweep them. Realistically, could Houston win all three? Of course. But if we can find a way to win this one and then either win this one in game 3 or win the first two and lose the last one, just getting to 500 would be big. And if for some crazy ass reason we did sweep, then that would put us one game above 500, which would be insane for as shitty as we played this year. But maybe we can get hot at the right time. Kirby, 2 outs. Mariners up 2-0. Pitch to first, safe. And we have a full count. The Jokes. Come on, Kirby. Tracy Brooks, I don't. I watch a lot of wrestling, but I don't watch a lot of ROH or Impact or NJPW. I try to watch what I can, but which is sometimes not a lot. And when I'm already devoting so much time to WWE and AEW, little bloop single, he's running hard. Oh, runners on the corners on first and third. Houston threatening. Next up for the Astros, catcher Martin Maldonado. Let's fucking go, George. Let's go, George. Not fuck around. Come on, baby. Yeah, we don't like walks. Yeah, and don't be surprised at one point or another if Kirby or Miller end up being the best on the roster. As great as Castillo is, he's got electric stuff. But as far as like consistency, I think you're going to get better consistency overall with guys like Kirby and Miller if they can stay injury free. Let's go, Kirby. We got to get Maldonado out. Come on, baby. Bottom of the second, 2-0. Mariners popped up, fouled back, 2-1 count. Yeah, if I saw a picture, maybe, with the Tracy Brooks, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know who that is. And then I'll see their face. Oh, that person. Yeah. 2-1 pitch from Kirby. Pitch is high. 3-1 count. Come on, George. Oh, baby, let's go. 3-1 pitch. Foul back. Count is full for Kirby. And bless Mr. Williams for coming through. You know, sometimes you just don't know how things are going to play out, and just always nice to be able to, feel appreciated, for all the hard work that goes in. And not every stream you feel that way when it's all done and over, but you already know the next day is another opportunity. And then you also got to kind of look at it. Not everyone streams every day, so. Mr. Williams, appreciate you. Bottom of the second, Mariners 2, Astros 0. Runners on the corners on first and third. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Easy routine right here for Julio. Got him. Oh, we saved it, baby. We saved it, baby. Nice job, George. Fucking Kirby. Yes. Huh. She doesn't look super familiar in the photo, but I imagine if I maybe saw the gear or whatever, maybe I just need to watch more Impact and some of these other ROH Impact. And I mean, I'm already watching a shitload of wrestling, throughout the week and doing the pay-per-views and stuff too. So, all right, end of the second inning, 2-0 Mariners. Let's go to the top of the third. Two up, leading off in the inning, second baseman Jose Caballero. Batting second this inning, shortstop J.B. Crawford. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trying to get these like shark shows done here too. Shark Fest, Shark Week. It's awesome. Fucking watch it. Man, I got so many shows to catch up on. Oh, Robert Roode. Gosh, you remember in like NXT when Rude was like a big deal? Like when you heard the music and you saw the intro, it kind of gave you chills. Like you saw certain wrestlers come up in that time where they made that wrestler like so important. And it was like NXT at that point, the black and yellow brand was like the best. It was better than Raw and SmackDown. Like it was Undisputed Era. You had an amazing group of talent. Oh, man. Okay. Caballero. All right, in the top of the third, 2-0 Mariners. But I mean, if NXT was like that, I would get invested in and be like super into it. Hell, I bought an Undisputed Era merch. Like, you know what? Like when I went to the show back then, like I actually would, got an Adam Cole Baby. Like I really liked their logo. I thought that was one of the best factions that they kind of dropped the bag. That and the Fiend. They fucking dropped the bag on that too. Idiots. It's like I hate when they break things up that are good. Like you don't understand the potential that they had. But I guess Vince likes the bigger dudes, the Omos sized dudes, and it is what it is. But at least we get kind of Triple H and others that can be like, well, this is what the fans want. And maybe you don't get everything what the fans want, but usually the fans will have an idea of like what's a good matchup, like what's a good rivalry, like who would be good on the mic and in the ring, like, and then you just got to be able to amp it up, and give us some surprises along the way. 1-2 pitch to Caballero, popped up. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of toxic shit that goes on in the wrestling community, online. But a lot of people that are diehards from like the '80s or prior are really fucking smart. That if you actually had a room of diehards from like the '60s, '70s, '80s, and '90s, I guarantee that they could book a show just as good as Vince or Triple H or anyone else. I mean, because a lot of them are diehards. I mean, it's like when we watch every fucking show, beginning to end, every pay per view. You know, not every wrestling fan is super intelligent or is going to have great takes or maybe can see things happening before they happen. But I mean, if you're passionate and you watch and pay attention, I mean, especially if you're an old school fan, because you kind of seen where wrestling was and where it is now. It's never going to be at the '80s and '90s peak. You're never going to see a Stone Cold and Rock again. You're not going to see anything as fire as DX and NWO ever again. So as long as you can come to terms with that, you know, then kind of where things are going. JP Crawford in the box, 2-1 count. Top of the third. Let's go, baby. Oh, JP. Back. Gone, baby. Someone's hitting a little bit of a heater. His name is JP. JP. Motherfucking Crawford. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go. When your leadoff hitter doing good shit and playing some good defense, and then they can be slapping some fucking homers once in a while. A little high five here, a little high five there. 3-0 Mariners. Let's go. That's a good sign. It's like when you got guys like a D. Gordon or an Ichiro or a J.P. Crawford, right? Having Julio leading off last year, it worked for us because it was like, how good is this guy? I don't know, and then he just was ranking on everyone, right? But JP is the leadoff hitter. It's like certain guys that can set the tone, or if we have to go 9-1-2 in the lineup, the 9 might get out like a Colton Wong or a Jose Caballero, but he can start something. And then Julio can, usually will fuck up after him, right? And follow up with a dud, like right here, popped up. Could have took some time in the count, maybe got walked. That would never happen. But, little pieces of momentum like that after someone goes yard. Don't try to go yard back to back. Just try to go on base, and then the next guy, maybe Ty France can, RBI or maybe go yard. I think it's just like situational baseball, and understanding that you are awesome. You are the next Ken Griffey Jr. You have so much potential, but you're not there yet, and I feel that he will get there, because he's got really good coaches. And it's just a matter of him embracing it and like kind of modifying his game all the way to the warning track. Oh, wow. I mean, if we could have just got something from Julio or Ty France, just like little singles, hell, take a walk, get hit by a pitch, and then you get to a point where you're in Hernandez and Kelenic, then some big things could happen. But I guess that's the difference between being really, really good and just sometimes being lucky and just taking what you can get. And normally we can't hit homers. But when George Kirby's on the mound, let me tell you, it's like Bryce Miller or Castillo. They play different. It's a little bit more urgency. We know these guys are the shit, and we don't want to lose for them. A little bit more urgency to get on base and help these guys out. Not saying that they're not going to give it for Logan Gilbert or Wu or Marco Gonzalez, but when you're talking about potentially Kirby and Miller being better than Castillo, and I wouldn't even dare say something like that unless I truly felt that they had the ceiling and potential to get there. Castillo is like got you that heat. He's got that heat, right? But sometimes when he's off, that's when he gets fucking hammered. And so I'd rather have a guy that's as consistently good than a guy that can be electric. And all of a sudden I got 2 starts of dog shit where you give up 7 runs and 6 runs. And then I got to wait 2 more starts for you to get back to Luis Castillo. I'd rather have consistent George Kirby get me 7 to 10 Ks every game and with Miller, and then with upside of maybe 12 or 13 once in a while. So I don't know. I don't think I'm the only Mariner fan that maybe sees it. Maybe it's kind of it's a ballsy thing to say at this point, but I think if you are a diehard fan and you've been watching for a while, you can kind of tell who you feel comfortable with. When you see a guy's picture that guy's pitching for us, how does it make you feel? When you saw Malone, you don't feel too good, right? Logan Gilbert, that's probably a loss. But when you start seeing Castillo and Miller and Kirby, you feel like, oh, like you don't even give a fuck who we're playing. We don't give a fuck, who their starting pitcher is. If we got ours, even though our hitting sucks, like who knows? Like we feel that we can be in it. And then if the hitting steps up, oh, you're not winning. If we get our guy to hit our kind of game and we get actually hitting in home runs, there's no chance for anyone. That could be the Rays, that could be the Rangers, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, Braves. They have that in them. They got the dog in them. But the thing is, we are so inconsistent. So it's like for every time you get I got a dog in me kind of game, you got about 4 shitty ones after it. There we go. One away. Reflect in the building. We've missed, my boy. Yankees can't hit. They have one of the worst batting averages, minus Aaron Judge. So it really shows you how impactful Aaron Judge is, and even at a DH, how much he improves the lineup. It's not just him getting hits; it's the confidence. The other guys, he's there. And that's how great Aaron Judge is. But if you actually look at the numbers, it's I mean, the Orioles to me are probably the funnest sleeper team. They are the Mariners or Blue Jays of last year, and I know Reflect put a bet of Orioles making the World Series, like a small one. But they are a sleeper underdog, just if you were to say the Blue Jays and Mariners were that sleeper team, the same type of thing. And the Orioles might even be able to get farther than the Mariners did. It's possible. Like if the Orioles played the Rays or the Rangers, do I think that they could win? Absolutely. They're fucking fire. Like anyone that's watched them play baseball this year, they're like really fucking good. They have pitching, they have hitting, they have no-namers that are turning into fucking names. It's kind of exciting to see. And Rushman from Oregon State, so I have a connection, watching that there, and he's going to be very, very special. Kirby. Yeah, and like I said, it makes me kind of wonder too. Even though Bryce came in like mid-season form, would he have, if he didn't get hurt, would he have got at least a nod to like maybe he could have been one of the alternates with Kirby? Because I don't know. I think Miller is a little bit more even electric than Kirby. Like, record was better, but if you actually look at the stats, besides the 7-7 record for Kirby, he actually is doing very good compared to other American League pitchers in many categories and in baseball overall. I don't think that people realize how good Kirby is and how good he was last year as a rookie. Like everyone wanted to be like Julio, including me. But there's a reason why I loved Cal. I love Kelenic, and I really did love Kirby, knowing that he was the first rounder, but you could just tell that he was different. Like there was something special about him, and it's like he may not be able to throw the fastest or give you the most heat, but as far as like placement with the ball and being consistent and being kind of a phenom and a little bit humble and very likable and just a kid that you can fucking root for and run through a wall for, that's George Kirby, and it's going to be really cool to see if he can take it to a higher level than people think. Like at one point, can George Kirby be a top 10 pitcher or top 5 pitcher at one point in his career if we could get the supporting cast to kind of help it out. So it's exciting. We have a bright future, but we just, Dipoto, trading players, drafting, getting the right types of people. If we're going to bring in guys, bring in low-name guys. Don't pay for the name brand guys. Go for the guys that have the stats. Use the money ball. It could be a fucking Jim Smith on Pittsburgh. Who the fuck is Jim Smith? I don't know. But if he comes in here and starts batting 300, Mariner fans are going to love Jim Smith. Okay? So, and I think that Reflect, you're on the same kind of wavelength. Stop going for these AJ Pollocks and these guys. It's like sometimes, you can get the no-name Jim Smiths and the Mark Lewises, and we have no idea who they are. We look up their stats and we're like, oh, they're kind of good, But can they do it here for our team? And then if they do, we could really care less. Honestly, we probably cheer harder for guys like that than getting a big name and then, them either living up to their name or being shittier than their name. So, but 3-0, we'll take it. 2 out of 3 puts us at 500. Next up, left fielder Jared Kelenic. We were doing MVP for the first 50 games. It definitely was Jared. One Darahara. Thank you so much. Stomach bugs and stomach problems are no good. And I appreciate you. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $1 holla. Every dollar matters. Appreciate you. Let me know what athlete or wrestler you would like to see, and I got you. $70 hairs. Let's get to a hundo. That's what I'm thinking too. That's why when I was breaking it down, and I have been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, I really felt, even though Luis Castillo is by most people's like top guy, I think the order to me is Miller 1, Kirby 2, Castillo 3, and then maybe Wu, and then Gilbert, and then obviously Gilbert had the complete game, which was good, so that brings him up. Castillo at times is shaky, but we just need to see that consistency, and then we get Marco to come back. And then where does he fit in the mix? Somewhere between 3 and 5. So, but that's to me. And that's not disrespecting Kirby at all. I think Kirby is an all-star, but I think that Miller is an all-star as well. Honestly, I would have rather had them go over Castillo. Castillo and Julio are the names. I would have rather had it be Bryce Miller, George Kirby, Jared Kelenic. But then if you want Julio in the home run derby, but Julio is a popular guy, top 10 in baseball. So everyone, including Mariner fans and beyond, if you don't give a shit about the M's, Julio's, Julio, right? So, but like what's fair and what's deserved and what really goes down is two different things. And I'm like the biggest Julio guy. So for me to say, to have another guy go in, you know what I mean? Like you're going to have your shot, but that'll maybe make someone work harder to be able to work at better being in the box. You're amazing at stealing bags. You're amazing at stealing homers. You don't got to do shit there. It's just about being a better leader and being able to read the pitchers and work the count better. You do that, then you're going to end up being a perennial all-star and Hall of Famer, like no doubt. I mean, you can go from being a top 10 popular player to being an actual top 5 player, and that's the goal. Yeah, and it's good when you play teams like that because it definitely humbles you. Instead of having 3 starts for Miller and having an ERA of like 0.30 or something, we're like, what is this guy? Is he an alien? Right? And then get slapped around a little bit, but realizing that the record and where he's at, like he had the best record at 5-3, even better than Marco. Well, Marco had 1 loss, but as far as like, guys that are pitching right now. So $5 holla. Thank you, Reflect. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $5 holla. Let me know your favorite Mariner player, and I got you. Respect you. Appreciate you. And we have been starting to grow the Mariner. We were starting to get a few more on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, and people that are, kind of getting, and that's good. So, hopefully that we can get more and more, and then we can end up having like, 10, 20 diehards, and then go from that point. Because when diehards, talk together, it's like you're not going to have these like Skip and Shannon like idiot debates. Like I feel that there are going to be differences and people are going to have different opinions. But I feel that if you are a legit like hardcore, fan from, you're watching very in depth, you're going to have a lot of similar takes as long as they're not having a biased take. So, and I know I'm probably not the only one, to say Miller, Kirby, Castillo. It's not a popular thing to say, but I think Mariner fans need to hear it. That, yeah, we can have this love, but don't get enamored and fall in love with Luis Castillo and Julio Rodriguez, the name. They have to be able to keep that name and keep consistent. Otherwise, all you are is a name. And we don't want to have guys that are names. We want to have guys that are names that put up the production to back up their name. That's kind of how I feel. I know I'm not the only one. Reflect, you are the man. A $5 holla, $75 hairs. Let's get 25. Kirby and Miller. And the crazy thing is Kirby and Miller are good enough to be ones, I feel, on any team in baseball. And I never would say that unless I truly believed it. Like I think that people don't really realize how good they are. But if you're a Mariner fan, you're starting to realize it. And then if you get through this year, you'll fully know it. And then going into next year, your perspective on who the best pitchers are might be surprising to some people. So some Randy Orton and some RKO. I miss RKO. Out of nowhere. Like the Seth Rollins one where he climbs him, right? Was that like at WrestleMania, I think, right? When he's wearing like the white gear climbs up and then does it like in the air. Right. Sometimes it might not be the popular choice, but if guys like a Sam Haggerty or a Taylor Trammell are consistently putting up the numbers, fucking play them like you did with Mike Ford. It took you 60 games to figure out who the fucking DH was, and then it took you another fucking 60 games to figure out that the 7, 8, 9 hole is fucking terrible, and then you don't get enough hits. On top of that, with your star 7, you're underwhelming. But now it seems like you're getting more than one guy that's getting hot, and we didn't have that all year. It was Kellenick for 50 games. That's it. Last 15 or 20, you've had JP, now Teoscar and Julio, and you're getting a little bit more. Nice little line drive out. Nice job by Gino. Exactly, because it has to be more than what you do hitting. A lot of times people look at the average, the RBI, and the homers. But that's just like looking at quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers and not realizing that the O-line and the defense and the coaching, win championships. Like, you're only looking at one part of the player. And Julio stealing the bags and defending at an elite level. I mean, and he's popular. He's likable. But it's like we're not going to give you all of the roses and all the accolades. If there's things that need to be improved. Because like I said, if he improved and we had a couple others, shit, maybe we're like 10 games above 500 right now, and we are actually believing the juice and the hype from last year popped up. Right to Teoscar 2 away. Randy Orton. RKO. Come on, Kirby. Oh, 1 pitch from Kirby right to Gino. There we go. And Gino isn't like one of the elite necessarily third basemen, but I think he's one of the better third basemen like in Major League Baseball. And there's not a lot of people that have that kind of power. And if you actually look to see how many home runs that he's hit, it's pretty amazing. Sometimes stats will like really surprise you. A little bit of RKO out of nowhere. Yeah, wrestling's not the same without Randy Orton. Regardless if you like him or you don't like him, or if he's a face or a heel, definitely brings a lot. Oh, baby. Yeah, but I don't know how much longer he's got in his career, though. Definitely one of my favorite for sure. You dig WrestleMania, you dig this one. Man, memories. Yeah, definitely you could, argue one of the top 5 in the last 25, 30 years. Special, not normal. Third generation though, too. Hall of Famer Randy Orton, RKO. That's my guy. Yeah, this is one of the best rotations. And like I said, if Castillo and Gilbert start like falling back and Wu starts climbing forward with like Kirby and Miller, and then we can get Marco there, and we really are like 6 or 7 deep. Like imagine having 6 or 7 pitchers that can get 10 Ks. Dude, we would be fucking cleaning house. Like we just need to, you know, we have to get the hits because obviously if we have so many good pitchers, teams are going to be drooling and wanting to offer for like Wu or trying to get some of these guys off of our hands for like some bats in the lineup. I honestly would rather have the pitching staff because I know how hard it is. We'll be able to find the right hitters. It's just you got to be able to have the right GM and ownership, to recognize who's going to be a good fit. Who's not just going to get along in like the ball club aspect and like off the field, in the bullpen, like in the dugout, but like stat wise, I mean, I think they need to be able to go deeper with that, and I think that's where they're lacking. Yeah. Oh, there we go. It's been rough. It sucks when your team sucks, But again, I think that's why I can connect with a lot of people, just because I mean, when you're a Blazer fan, you never really have any success. The Ducks, we cap out at the Rose Bowl, can't win a natty. Best chances when we had Chip Kelly. Never going to probably happen. Buccaneers, I was just blessed with Hall of Fame defensive players and all star, and then getting fucking Brady and Gronk and AB and having Bruce Arians. I mean, how the hell does that fucking happen? Then having my guys like Devin White and Levante David actually get recognition is very cool. Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr., guys like that. But a lot of the teams, like Mariners, we've only had a couple years of success, 4 good years in 30 years, But this pitching staff is like very dangerous. Like at some point, I could see like Kirby getting 10 wins, Castillo getting 10 wins, like up to 10 wins, Miller getting 10. And hell, even Wu at this point looks like he could maybe get close to 7 or 8. Like a lot of these guys like have a lot of potential. And hell, if Marco can start off the year 4-1 and 5-1 and not get hurt, what would his record be? I mean, he was really the like, wow, like you normally suck ass, and you're actually playing as like the sleeper pitcher on the roster, and I like lefties, so sometimes it's good to be able to have a mix of guys. The guys that are the right-handed heaters, those are the most common. But if you can get a lefty heater or a lefty Greg Maddux, where the placement like Kirby, then that can be huge. Supposedly Robbie Ray, right? And Marco, but I think we could do better than Marco and Robbie Ray as lefties. There's got to be better lefties out there for us. And I'm not talking Clayton Kershaw at the end of the career, but someone younger and better. Maybe in the draft in a couple years. But that's what I would be looking at. Left-handed closer, left-handed mid-reliever, left-handed beast starter. That just takes your game to a whole nother dynamic when you got 3 or 4 heaters on the right side and then you got one lefty and no one can hit them. Game over. You're done. 0-2 pitch to Mike Ford. 1-2 count. What do you want to see reflect? You got a particular player? You want like Edgar Martinez, or you let me know. Blanco, 1-2 pitch. Ford fouls it off. Nice to be able to see Ford get that batting average up by playing first for Ty for a few games. Was in the 270s, now in the 257 range. And waving a miss, got him. Come on, Mike. Ronel Blanco, he like finessed him. Finesse dog. Got to give them credit. All right, let me see your stat line. What do you got right now? 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks for Blanco. Okay. Elliott in the building. Yeah, and I think that we got the pitching part fucking down. Like we know what we want. I just wish that someone could like spread the word that, not just Mariner fans, but I just think in general how much deadlier we would be, to get a new range of hitters, not names, but guys that are no names that are just like Moneyball guys, and then bringing in a couple strong lefties that could really, force the rest of the righties to like play better because they know the lefty might take their spot. I mean, that's when we can get to a point where we make the playoffs and maybe, we win a couple rounds and maybe we can make you know, a championship game like an ALCS or something. They already are, but except for Marco. Ray at this point is like, we got finesse and fleece. I don't think he'll, is there a chance that Ray could be a 10-win pitcher for a team and be awesome? Yeah, of course. But sometimes, I think you just get with a fan base where we're like, we either like, we're already moving on. We're like, it's like, okay, if you're going to stay, whatever. But if you do end up leaving or something happens or, we trade or you go somewhere else, it's not going to really be as big of a hurt because we've seen these other guys step up. And based on what we saw last year and what happened with the Yordan Alvarez thing, and, like, not saying that someone is emotionally shaky, can't bounce back, because definitely people can, but it's all about consistency. And if we don't see consistency, we're definitely going to want some improvement at that position. So we got a great draft coming, Orion. 3 in the top 30. 5 in the top 50. But what are we going to do, though? Can we be in on the call with Capoto and Service? And we're like, no. Yeah. I've actually read a little bit. I haven't been dipping too much. But, obviously we got this like futures game coming up before the home run derby and the all-star game and everything. So, and then we actually got another guy that just got called up today, another pitcher. So we'll see when he ends up playing, if he ends up playing like in mid-relief. If they're going to give him a shot to get out there. So we'll see. We'll see how kind of things play out. The threads, I know I've seen people do it within the last couple days. I have not done it yet, but I assume I should. Some George Kirby. Let's go, George. Jeremy Pena. Obviously, I got a lot of respect for him. If I put you on the thumb with Kirby, you're pretty good. But obviously, if I'm going to go for like my top guy, it'll be Tucker. That guy, Yordan Alvarez, obviously that's a one. But I like sleeper guys. And like Tucker and Pena, Pena's kind of on the up and up for what he did in the World Series and the playoffs. But Tucker kind of had his breaking out party last year. But I even think this year people are still like, eh. I'm like, really? I was like, if I could choose like almost like 1, 2, 3 guys like to come to the Mariners to like improve the team instantly, he would be one of my top 3. That guy is ridiculous. He's got home run power, and he's a lefty. And, I love the lefties, and he can also get on base, and he works the count like a motherfucker. Like he's smart, and I like those kind of guys, like the Freddie Freemans. It's like I don't got to worry about this idiot swinging at the first 3 pitches, and it's a quick out or a strikeout. I need you to work the count. A little bit of George Kirby. He gets on the thumb. He's good. George fucking Kirby. Yeah, and I felt that way last year. I really buy into rookies, and if I see potential, it means a lot. Obviously, what you saw from Julio and Kirby was the best, but then Cal made the memory with the homer. So, and you can't, obviously he's been inconsistent this year, had a little bit of injury with the thumb, but no excuses. He should be hitting better than what he's hitting. Facts. Murphy's been hotter. Got him at first. 1 away. $75 hairs. Yeah. I'm always reading and like looking at clips and whatnot. Usually those are the only ones I'm on. Rarely Facebook and Instagram. It's usually Twitter and YouTube. But YouTube is only usually the stuff that I'm doing with you guys. I like to be able to read and get some film in, get a laugh once in a while. But sometimes it gets like, when you go down the threads, like on Twitter, it's like sometimes you go kind of down a dark path depending on who you're following or who's like, following you. and you're like seeing some of the things that they're like retweeting or things that are coming up on the timeline. Like, man, I don't need to see this. Like this isn't really for me. Like, you know, especially if you got more than a few followers and whatnot. But it's cool, like in the fact where you can get like everything in one spot. And then if you end up, interacting with actual people, like athletes or people you look up to, like sometimes you can actually get a response, which would back in the day never be possible. It's like, oh, blah blah blah. You tag the person, and then they actually like heart it or retweet it back. You're like, what? What? I mean, what is this? Like, did that happen? And to some people, it's not like a big deal, but you got to remember, not every person that tags an athlete gets a fucking response. Like a lot of them, they just ignore or they see it, maybe smile, but they don't actually like heart it or like give you any indication that they liked it or whatever. And I think my top three would be Derek Brooks. That was one. LaMichael James. That was another. And I think Ken Jong, right? That would probably be my third. Shout out to Cyberpunk for helping on the Twitter side. Bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Mariners. Runner at first, Martin Maldonado. Kirby, baby. But again, as much as I loved what Cal did for us last year, you can't just have this blind love for, oh, you got us to the playoffs, and then if you're not playing good, they like to give you a free pass. So, when Murphy's playing better, as Mariner fans, we have to admit, maybe Cal did this amazing thing, but until the bats kind of heat up, going with Murphy is the smarter choice as far as if you want hitting. But if you want defense, I still think Cal will probably be better there. But Murphy has been improving on the defensive side, and sometimes when Murphy plays, he gives you that energy. Sometimes goes yard. Sometimes really gives that jolt of electricity that we need, and sometimes to start the game off or to end the game, and that's kind of cool. We don't have that too much. Safe, damn it, yeah. And if you look at some of the guys that we had last year that are no longer on the team, I mean, do we really miss anybody? Winker, not really. But I mean, obviously, if we get like a good version where someone's fucking hitting, then maybe we could consider some. I did kind of like Carlos Santana. I kind of was that was I was kind of wishing he would stay. I like him, but because then that would have been the DH from the very start, and we probably have more wins at this point. It's like that already did the homework for you. You already knew that was the choice. Little blooper, get him to France, got him. Bottom of the fifth inning, 3-0 Mariners. This guy, George Kirby, kind of good. We get you some more Georges. Oh, I got a throwback Kirby. You know how I do it? Let's go. Let's go. nice to be able to see some history. Like, even though we love these players, sometimes we don't watch what they did in fucking junior high or high school or sometimes even college. They just kind of we draft them and we hope for the best and hope they turn into a phenom. Most of them don't, and we've been very blessed here recently to have a few. But even if he was batting like let's say 220 or 200 to 250, right? He's like he would boom, and I think there would be times where he'd get singles and doubles, and he would have been like that's the DH. Like you fucking idiots. Like it's not like going through 60 fucking guys and going through like 50, 60 games and like all these combinations and having the 7, 8, 9 hole be fucking terrible. Like you got to figure at least if the 7, 8, 9 hole's terrible, at least figure out the fucking DH. Like so instead of having fucking 4 problems, you have 3 problems. You know. Yeah. I mean, like I feel like if you watch and you've seen like what success is, some people can't recognize it because they don't watch teams close enough. But if you are a diehard fan and you watch it very closely from year to year, you know what it takes to be a champion. You know what it takes if your team has ever won or got close, or out of any team that has ever won anything, and then you can kind of compare, where your team is at compared to those championship teams, and that'll give you a gauge if you're like really the real deal, or you're just kind of overly excited and thinking that your team's really good, but in all honesty, they're not as good as you think. And sometimes it's a reality that we have to just watch the season play out and then you figure it out. But we got Shark Fest on Nat Geo all month long, Shark Week on Discovery with Jason Momoa next week, baseball, and Mariners up 3-0. It's a good day. Got to keep it up, though. The Cards beat the Marlins 3-0. Nice. And at this point, I know that, even if you have a bad record, you still want to win games. You don't want to just continuously lose like 20 in a row. Then shit, if that happened, probably a lot of the fan base would stop watching. Or they'd watch a lot less. 3-2 count to JP. Let's go, JP Crawford. He's starting to get on a little bit of a heater. I like people that can play defense and that can hit. Those are my favorite. I like guys that really, they're undervalued because they're so good at these other things and they only get paid normally for like one thing, like the bats or the pitching. But as you know, I mean, defense is so hard in the major leagues. Got him, Blanco. Oh, Blanco. Why, Ronel Blanco? He said, night, night, Blanco. Ronel, wheeling and dealing. I was going to say he's only 2 away from 10. Thank God we have 3. How the hell is that possible? And like I said, it's like the Mariners have been getting into this point where we've had 11 Ks on us twice, and normally that's an automatic 99 out of 100 loss. If someone gets 11 Ks on you, you're fucked. You lost probably 3-0 or 4 or 5-1, right? But we've won the last 2 starts where that has happened. So, and one kind of big. So once the starting pitching goes out, as crazy as it sounds, if you got 1 to 3 innings, you can change the game. And sometimes it takes an inning or 2 to get momentum, and then you do it on that 3rd one in the 9th. But that's why it's real essential for pitchers to go 6 or 7 as far as they can, so that way that your mid relievers and closers don't fuck it up, because that's what fucking happens in baseball. You do real good, and then the guy comes in and they fucks it all up, and then you lose the game, right? Julio, 0-1 count, 249 average, 13 homers, 47 ribbies. I mean, the home runs and the ribbies could be slightly higher. I mean, you would think you'd be at 15 or higher, at this point, closer to 20 realistically, because if you're at 20 at the break, you're probably going to get to 40 to 45. And I think Julio's that kind of guy in a few years. But chasing pitches and, not being patient. Not everyone turns into Freddie Freeman overnight, and these guys that are just amazing at, working, or like a Tony Gwynn or Ichiro, but it's all about mechanics. And some guys, obviously, contact hitters are always going to be better than the home run hitters, too. Just dreaming, going back, gone. Like it so far, though. We're up 3-0, so there's a good chance that we can go 2 for 3 and get to 500. I mean, sports gods, I don't think that's too much to ask, but if we sweep and do the unthinkable and we get one game above 500, go to the All-Star break, and then get on a little bit of a streak, that could be huge momentum-wise, because realistically, we're not catching the Rangers. We have to catch the Astros. So that has to be number one priority when you play them. Because you're only going to get 2 teams out of the division. The winner, Rangers, and who's getting the wild card? Astros, 90% chance. Mariners, 10. But there is a chance. Just no. Yeah, we can do that for like home runs, but yeah, when the guy signs with the team, no. Yeah, what's worse, signing a guy like that or trading away a guy? What's worse? What about Adam to the Orioles? What's worse, trading Omar Vizquel and that shit hurts. Is that just pure stupidity, or it just your stubbornness that you don't think the player's that good, right? 25 doll hairs. We did it. We did it, America. We did it, Reflect. $25 dono. Oh, bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. It's always good to be able to get the support from another diehard Mariner fan, and I definitely think that we'll have quite a few. As the longer that I do this, we'll get a few more. Appreciate you very much, man. Let me know what you want to see. I got you. One undo a milli. That was you years ago. Every post, a milli. 3-0 Mariners. Yeah, much appreciated. Especially when you get so humbled, and grounded, where you like do a stream and you make nothing, and then you're used to making a certain amount, then you just realize you have to be just uber grateful for anything and just bust your ass, work hard, be consistent, and then have a couple bad days, and you'll get rewarded with a good day. So, hit him in the shoulder. Get him the ice bag. As long as he doesn't get injured, I don't mind, guys. I don't want to have guys get injured and get like a broken bone on the wrist, but if you got to take a strawberry and get to first and ends up helping us win the game, yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And like everything, especially when you get to that point, everything means so much more. Is Blanco going out? Is that base is loaded? And look at, overall, he started to kind of lose the control there, but he had 8 Ks. He only had 2 walks. But, just timely, hits or home runs really can change momentum in a game. And you know what the realistic thing is? And this is just being real, right? When we actually hit and our pitchers, are doing their thing, we can match up with anybody in baseball. That's the real truth. But the thing is we don't do it often. But if we could ever get to a point, they are a team that, could be like the Mariners team from last year, where you just have that momentum and, everything is working. Every pitcher has the chance to get 10 Ks or more, and you're getting 5 to 6 runs or more. And if you get that from the Mariners, you're winning almost every game. There's still going to be a few where we're going to lose 9-8 and it's a battle, and we're going back and forth with like the Orioles or the Astros or the Yankees or whoever, right? Dodgers. But it's just like, if you get to that point where we're getting 5 or 6 runs, I don't think there's very many teams that can hang, because our pitching is probably going to limit you to less than that, or you're going to be right there with us, but we'll find a way to win. So, and like I said, I really do like Wu too. 6th rounder, doing better than thought. Than we really anticipated, and he's got a little bit of a heater too. Kelenic in the box. Let's go, Jared. Woo throwbacks. Good choice. And that's why I think it's cool to be able to have someone like you or someone that's like a fan, because we want to be able to, as fans, like it's not like, let me just randomly at 2 o'clock, I'm just sitting there. Oh, I wonder what Brian Woo looks like in college. It's not really something that's gonna come up, but we can do that here. So yeah, I actually have not seen too much of the throwback. I've seen some, but not a lot. Looks like my cousin. You're gonna love this. I've not even seen this before. Kellenick fouls it off. 0-2 count. Our motherfucking guy. Hi, Brian. Woo woo. Sing. You learn something new every day here. Fucking awesome, dude. I appreciate anything that anybody does. Like the video, share the video, comment, and obviously the most biggest thing that you can do is donate, obviously, and trying to support my dream and everything that goes along with the people that are a part of this channel as well. So, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's see if we can find. We're at a little break here. I got to get you like a daytime game one. We got to see what we got the Woo at the nighttime game, but what about daytime Brian Woo? Daytime Brian Woo. And like I said, even though Woo started off with a huge ERA and gave up a lot of runs, he has electric stuff. Like it seemed like every time he was out there, he was going for 8 to 10 Ks and having that mentality. You might fall a little short, but when you're starting off being like 4, 6, and then you're getting like 8 to 10, that's a good sign. Even if you're losing and maybe the run support isn't there, and maybe you've given up one too many home runs, like you gave up 3, but if you can cut it down to 2 and you can get to 10 Ks, like you're going to move up in the rotation and people are going to love you. And the potential is already there. So, if he's like the 4 or the 5, but he's got potential to get 10 Ks and can get consistent, like that could be a killer spot for us. Because then if we have like a lower lineup, but we got Woo, we're going to be like, oh, we won. We're going to be have Woo in the 5 spot. Nice try. We might be able to get to that point. So. Yeah, and like any younger Mariner fan, obviously not knowing about a lot of the past, they might have a different perspective. But I mean, you could definitely see the potential in this roster. I always got to represent with awesome throwbacks, dude. There's not like a lot, especially if you want to look at like quality. I try to get stuff that's actually going to fit the screen and it's going to look good, HD or 4K or something that, and sometimes it's hard to find that. Yeah, what's up, man? Practice time, Brian Wu. Looking good, man. Like that hat, the logo, look a little new era. You got the relaxed on. About to get fucking 10 Ks the next time he plays. Fucking Brian Wu, man. Like I said, and I think reflect too. I wouldn't be getting excited and hyping up this pitching staff if I didn't believe it. But again, I've been watching since the mid '80s. I think I know if I've only had 4 really good years in 30 watching Mariner baseball, you can see the potential, and this has a chance to be in the next couple years maybe the best pitching that we've ever had as a collective unit. I mean, probably never going to have anyone like a Randy Johnson ever again. That's facts. But as far as Felix Hernandez was awesome. But imagine if Felix and Randy played together, like in their primes together, like what could have been. Or if Randy Johnson never left the Expos and played with Pedro, what could have been? Oil Can Boyd, Marquise Grissom. Montreal Expos. What could have been? 3-0 Mariners. Ice cream cake and Pizza Hut. Tucker with another hit. He's my favorite player on the Astros. He's really, really good. Always gets fucking hits. Next up from the Astros, first baseman Jose Abreu. It's your last day as a teenager. You're gonna be 20 twin. Double play. George Kirby. Let's go, baby. George Kirby, baby. That's the guy. Blanco with 9 Ks. And even though Kirby only has 3, you can still find ways to dominate the game if you're just not giving up a lot of those runs and those hits. Only 1 walk, too. 4-hitter for George Kirby. Next up for the Mariners in the top of the 7th inning, 1 for 2 with a run, 2 RBIs and a K. Third baseman Eugenio Suarez. And he went yard earlier today. And that's why he gets an additional photo. Batting second unless they replace him. Big dumper catcher, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, DHing for Seattle, Mike Ford. Let's go, baby. Yeah, it sounds like he's got an interesting story. And like I said, I don't care what round you come from, what ethnicity you are. All I care about is if you love the game, you're good with the teammates and the coaches, and you bring everything that you got. And there's definitely some people that are more talented than others, but sometimes when you get an opportunity, and having guys get hurt like Marco and Robbie Ray, it's a blessing. Because think about it, would we rather have Robbie Ray or Bryce Miller long term? Would we rather necessarily have Marco, right, or someone like Wu? Like Marco's good this year, but consistently Marco's been kind of average, more to bad. And every 5 years he has an amazing year, and you're like, holy shit, Marco Gonzalez. But it's not every year; it's like every 4 to 5. That's hard to be able to believe in a guy that's only going to be elite once every 4 to 5 years. But if you have him on your team that year, that could be the difference between winning maybe one round and going to the next round. But I like what I'm seeing from the youth movement, from the Kirby and the Miller and the Wu. I don't think I've seen 3 better young prospects ever for the Mariners. And then we already got, Castillo and Gilbert and Marco, and we'll see what Ray. I mean, we might as well just trade Ray for a bag of Cheetos back to the fucking, Blue Jays and see what they say. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how most people feel about that. I mean, if he plays good for us, fine. But if he ended up never playing for us ever again, it wouldn't make me cry. I'm just saying that. The rotation. Oh, yeah. Dude, and another cool thing too that I would normally not say. I think that we have 3 guys that have an opportunity could get a no-hitter in Miller, Kirby, and Castillo, and I don't think that's crazy to say. I just don't think globally or across the U.S. most people have no idea how good Bryce Miller and Kirby is. People will find out All-Star Weekend because they see Kirby in it, and maybe they'll pay attention to him moving forward. Oh. Go, baby. Gino for a double, baby. Stand up double for my boy Gino. That's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Fucking Gino. Fucking wild, man. Yeah, and you got great friends. You got a good community on YouTube that you can go to at any time. We appreciate you, man. So you always got to be able to have people of a younger generation to keep you informed on certain things that you may not follow. You got to be well rounded. You got to watch Super Bad tonight. and tomorrow. Fuck it. Hell, fuck it. Oh yeah. Because I mean, if the hitting matches the pitching, people are fucked. Like we can beat anybody, but it's just like, can that happen? You know, we haven't really proven that we can go on like a win streak, you know, or have something like fire us up like a fight with the Angels where we beat the shit out of them and then win 12 to 14 straight. We have not beat the shit out of anyone. We've gotten the shit beat out of, right? We need to beat the shit out of, you know, another team. We need to figure it out. But there's only a couple teams I think the Mariners would fight. It would be the Angels and this team. I don't think we'd be really fighting anyone else. Top of the 7-3-0. About to be 4-0. Oh, baby. Suarez 4-0. New world order. 4-5. Oh, yeah. 4-0. Is that good? For George Kirby. 4-0. That's what you want, man. And especially if you can't get that 10K, 12K game. It's all right. Show your dominance in other ways. Be the fucking Greg Maddux of Major League Baseball. Show them how it's done where you don't have to throw 100. You know, you can be 95 to 98, sometimes even lower than 95, but find the fucking strike zone, baby. And that's what we're doing. That's why I like Kirby so much. He's our finesse guy. You know, Castillo and Miller, they're the heater guys. Like Woo, Castillo, and Miller, heat, trying to throw 100 until their fucking arm, you know, falls off and they get Tommy John 3 times. Then they have a bionic fucking T2 arm, like a Terminator. You know, it's like they're trying to throw their arm out of the socket. Kirby doesn't do that. Kirby can throw fast, but he's more about placement. And placement guys are very cool because you don't see them that often. And then if you have a guy that's a placement guy like a Maddux or him, but has the opportunity to get close to 100 and just juice it up a little bit and get a couple miles an hour more, then you got an unstoppable pitcher at one point. Oh, the home runs. If you look at that, he's top 5 in Major League Baseball overall. He's up there with like Schwarber and Judge, Trout, or something like that. You know, it's crazy. You would not think that you know Suarez would be up with those names, but he would connect with the Reds, and I mean, he hasn't really gotten to a point with us where he's been hot. He just kind of is like cold, and then he warms up. You know, but if we can get a hot Gino from the beginning, that's when he's going to bat 300 to 320, and then you know probably have a 30 home run season or something like that. And he's definitely got it in him. 4-0 Mariners. Right. I mean, that's what we should be looking at, trying to be. There's not really anyone in the American League that we can desire to be. We don't need a desire to be the Astros or the Yankees. You know, Blue Jays and us have some similarities, as well as the Baltimore Orioles. I feel a very connection there. You know, kind of low key. No one's giving us a chance. You know, off the plate for a ball, call the strike. Boo hoo! That's a bad call. Mike Ford is talking shit. Mike is like, that's bullshit. He's like, look at me. Oh, King Griffey Jr., my boy. Yeah, crazy, right? Your boy remembers. I'm a stat guy. Larry in the building. Well, you know, if we go 2 out of 3, like we were mentioning early on, you know, we just got an ejection. But you know, we haven't been able to hit really all year. When your team batting average is like 230 for the year. You know, pitching has been pretty good, but the record hasn't reflected. Like, you know, George Kirby's going to the All-Star game with a 7-7 record, but that doesn't really show that how good of a pitcher he's been. You know, he should be more of like 9-4, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't get the run support, sometimes you don't get the wins. Felix Hernandez had times like that too, where the wins weren't really there, but the ERA was, you know, strikeouts and ERA were there. But again, if we score 5 to 6 runs, you know, any game moving forward after the All-Star break, and our pitching is on, we're not going to be beat by very many people. You know, because I feel once we hit 5 or 6 runs, we're almost undefeated. If you get a 10K performance out of Kirby or Castillo or Miller, and we're scoring 5 to 6 runs, what are the chances of someone hanging with us? Maybe the Atlanta Braves or someone that gets hot at the moment, Orioles or Rays or Rangers, sure. But for a majority, we're winning. So it's a kind of a bright sign. If that's the magic number. Normally our number is 5 hits or less, 4 runs or less. So if we get 5 and 6 runs and we can kind of get on a nice little kind of groove, be more patient in the box, get 4 guys hot at the same time instead of 1 or 2. Out of our top 7, 4 at the same time. Get that pitching staff healthy. There's a chance that we can catch the Astros and take their spot. But again, at this point, it feels like maybe Astros 90%, 80%, Mariners 10 to 20. But a lot can change if we go on a little bit of a win streak. All it takes is like 5 games or more, and you really start feeling good. But it's like you got to get a little bit more. It's like the sweet spot, I feel, where you start to get the swagger is when you're at like 7 or 8. When you're 7-0 or 8-0, you're like, fuck that. We're going to beat the next fucking team. So that means you already swept 2 teams. Like, fuck it. 3rd team, we're going to sweep you too. Yeah. And like I said, I'm a stat guy. And if you would have told me that years before, that coming forward, that would be legit, you'd say, no. You're like, he's good, but not like 5th in homers out of everyone with like all the top names like Judge and Schwarber's up there. And you're like, oh, it's kind of shocking, really. Because his name doesn't really belong out of all the others. All the other names are like, okay, yeah, that belongs. Schwarber, I guess. And then you see like Gino at 5, you're like, holy shit, how many homers did he hit for fucking the Reds? Yeesh. It's like, was the pitching shitty in those years, or was he just going off? Ford, tossed. Is that good? Mookie Trout, Arenado, Muncy, Ohtani, Machado, Goldschmidt. Let's go, JP. But this is the perfect position right here at a 3-0 count, right? Where you're patient, right? And you don't swing and you get on base, and you put yourself in a position where, you have a guy that normally fucks up at bases loaded and 2 outs or 1 or 2 guys on, right? But every once in a while might be able to hit a grand slam or a 3-run homer and or get a couple RBIs. So, being patient in the box can lead to runs more times than not. It's like, I don't know, it's like the sports gods recognize when a guy gets hit or when a guy takes those 4 pitches. Just better shit happens when you got guys on the base paths. And it's very hard in 2023 to get multiple hits in a row. It's like 3 guys in a row getting hits. That ain't happening. But if we were a better hitting team, yeah, hits all day. But when you've been struggling, it's like you got to take anything you can get. Fuck it. I was like, I'd rather have Colton Wong get hit by a pitch and get on to, than him doing anything else. Hell, don't even swing. Just get to first base. Let's go, Julio. And at one point, as Mariner fans, we are going to be like, when this position Julio comes up, we're going to feel like Ohtani and Judge. It's not going to be probably anytime soon, maybe 3-4 years. But once he learns and how deadly he's going to be, that 40 to 50 home run guy, then that's going to be a position where that's probably when we're going to succeed at our top spot. But we're not there yet. Runners at first and second, 4-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Julio. Come on, Julio. 2-2 count. Big swing and a miss. Let's go, my boy. I like Julio. Can't you tell? Let's go, baby. Got him. 1, 2, 3 guys left stranded. But he will get to a point where he'll cash in on that opportunity. You got to live and you learn. You got to suck before you end up getting better, and you got to learn how to play. So there will be a position where he'll hit grand slams and he'll get big RBIs. And it's like, if he doesn't get an RBI, it'll be shocking in that scenario. It's just not there yet. Fucking cool, man. Bottom of the seventh inning. Yeah, baby. Yeah, but like realistically, we're not good enough to make the playoffs. That's just like a harsh reality. Like, we're not there. I mean, we would have to have a drastic change. Instead of like being 50-50 in games, like 500 record, we'd have to be 60-40. And have we proven at any point that we could be like that type of team? And we haven't. So it's like, I mean, there is a chance that we can get there, probably better than most, that are in this position. Like if you look at all the teams at 500, who's got one of the best chances to succeed? We are one of the top three that could succeed at 500 and actually get in, but you'd have to see a huge collapse by the Stros and they'd have to get injured, which could happen maybe, but we'll see. George still out there, baby. $100 hairs. Let's get to two. Yes. Well, I mean, you don't expect to shut out a team like the Astros, but they're so good. Even if Altuve or Alvarez isn't playing, they don't normally win. I mean, that's facts. But I think it just shows Kirby's motivated. Also, like he made the All Star game. You don't think that he's juiced up to be like, hey, I just made my first All Star game. I didn't even think I was going to make it. So he's going to be pitching on a whole nother high the rest of the year. And honestly, Bryce Miller was probably deserving as well. His stuff is more electric, better record. It's kind of hard, because one guy's the heater, the other guy is like the finesse guy. Kirby's always going to be our Greg Maddux. So as long as you look at him as that type of player, then you'll see what other people see. But his high end pitch, like miles per hour, would be higher than a Maddux. That's what makes him so special. Love it. I mean, anytime we won the first two out of three against the Stros, so we just need to do it again. And if we can keep winning 2 out of 3 the whole year, yeah, we're going to be able to catch up and we're going to steal the spot. It'll be like us and the Orioles, and it'll be like the Blue Jays and Mariners from last year. But the Blue Jays could get a spot also. They're creeping like us also. So Diaz with a little bloop single. Yanya Diaz. Next up, Chas McCormick. cow. Come on, baby. Bottom of the 7-4-0 Mariners. All right. I'm going to check up on Paisley here in a second. Make sure she's comfortable. Give her some snacks. I love that Kirby's still out there. Got to reward guys like that. You have a special, this is going to be a season that Kirby won't ever forget. And obviously he got overshined to Julio, and he should have got more praise and love. But he's, it didn't take a third or fourth year to get to an All-Star game, so that's big. Oh, nice. Kalanick one away. Next up for the Astros, shortstop Jeremy Pena. He's probably my second favorite player on the team. If I just take out, Yordan Alvarez, obviously that would be most people's one. But I really like Pena and Tucker. Those are my two favorite players. Like if I could add two people, it wouldn't even necessarily be Alvarez and Altuve. I think I would take Pena and Tucker over them. Because I know Yordan Alvarez would give you home run power, but Tucker's a little bit more consistent and can give you homers. And then, Pena is kind of that phenom. Everyone's got to have the young phenom that comes in to, puts butts in the seats, and then you have a future star at that spot. Even though it might take a little bit longer for others. That's why I wanted to go see Jordan Walker and Bobby Witt Jr. It's one thing I get to see Julio, but I want to see up and coming stars, let alone a couple Hall of Famers too. So. Bottom of the 7th, 4-0 M's. Runner at first, 0-2 pitch. Popped up. Out of play. Oh, Brash in the bullpen. But it does feel good out of all the teams that are kind of average or bad. Like we do legitimately have a shot. It's a dark horse, to be able to play halfway decent after the break and possibly be in the running for a wild card towards the end. Pitch is low, 1-2 count. Mariners hat, Astro t-shirt. Oh, there's probably going to be some of those. There's some of those at every game. It just gets weird when it's like Yankees, Red Sox. Then, sometimes you'll get beat up. Big pop up. Get it, Cal. Get it for George. There you go. 2 away. Fucking George Kirby, baby. Let's go. Nice job, George. I mean, obviously, I want George to try to get to 10 Ks every game, but when he's not a Bryce Miller or a Castillo type of pitcher, he's not going to have as many as those 10K games as those other guys. But when he does get there, it's going to be a very electric game. It's always nice when you can beat up the rival. Like anytime you can beat the Astros in a game, definitely doesn't happen often. But this year, pretty good. 2 out of 3, we're at 500. I can take that. That's the goals, right? Worst case scenario, 1 for 3 or don't get swept. But with the pitching guys that we have, like I said, as long as our strong guys are out there or mostly out there, we just need those bats to get to 5 to 6 runs. And then we can, if we get 5 to 6 runs and our pitching staff plays good, we're going to win 80% of our games. There's still going to be those, 9-8 games we lose to the Braves. Fuck it, anyone's going to lose. But most scenarios, if you're not playing like a Rays or a Braves or a Dodgers or a Rangers or an Orioles, yeah, you'll probably squeak out some close ones, but some good wins. And we haven't had our big win streak yet. Nice pitch. 97. Jolks in the box. 2 for 2, 2 singles and a stolen base. 4-1. No, baby. Damn it. Oh, jokes is like I'm 2 for 2. Let's make it 3 for 3. Let me see it. I have to see it. 92 pitches for Kirby. Oh no, not like that. Oh yeah, that's easily scoring. Hell, you could score from first and then of course you get a bobble at third. It's like it doesn't matter. It's like sometimes it's Gino, sometimes it's Jose Caballero, sometimes it's JP. Colton Wong I can count on, but at least like if you're gonna let the guy score, don't fumble it. When the throw is coming in, secure it. Don't look like a fucking idiot. Like we already let him score. Don't make it look worse. Like it looks like we just fucked up the run, and then you look like you give up an error when it's starting to come into play. I hate that. 4-1 Mariners. Astros. Sometimes you just take a guy out, like just one batter too late, and that's what happened. Next up for the Stros, catcher Martin Maldonado. Well, Kirby only gave up one. Could have been perfect, but wasn't a very dominant K day. But that one kind of hurts. But at least it was only for one run, and it wasn't like a home run. So, oh, it's all good. Well, I have multiple ways that I usually watch the stream. Usually I'll have it on Root Sports. I'm on it like live, every time. Other times I got to watch it through like an MLB link, MLB, and other options. And so, sometimes you'll be spot on. Sometimes you're going to have like a 15-second, 30-second delay. So, but I'm moving in a couple weeks. So when I move in a couple weeks, everything will be, you know, as soon as it happens, unless something happens with the cable provider. And sometimes, depending on what cable provider or TV provider you have, there's sometimes a slight delay on those. Like someone could be watching Ziply and Comcast, and it could be slightly off. So let's go, M's, baby. Don't even worry about it, man. It's like even because with the scoreboard that I have, sometimes I'm going to see the score update on the screen first, right? And then I have to watch it and then go from there. So I'm still staying here, still staying in Oregon. So I'm not moving out of state or anything like that, but obviously a change of scenery and a change of trying to get things situated. But I don't have a whole lot of stuff, which is good. So also I got to get set up before football season. I got to make sure I got the good internet and everything set up with the green screen because if we're going to be getting into NFL and college football on top of baseball and wrestling, I got to have everything ready to go and I don't want to have to, not be ready when the time is right. All right, Brash baby. Come on, baby. Let's go. Big swinging and miss. Madrid filling in for Maldonado. We should be able to get him out. Come on, baby. Come on, set up, man. Yeah, I do. I do hockey here too, and NASCAR. I do everything. There really isn't anything I don't do. I mean, if there's a game on, or wrestling, or whatever the main thing is, because obviously when football season's over, you got to keep it moving. And I think I love everything except the NBA. The NBA is like sometimes tolerable, sometimes not. But I would say that's the lowest on the totem pole, which is really ironic because NBA was number one for me when I was a kid. But I grew up in the 80s and 90s in the Jordan era, so a little different now. The Iverson and the Kobe era, the Shaq era, the Drexler, the Bird, the Magic era, the Penny Hardaway era. Bottom of the seventh, 4-1 Mariners. 2-2 pitch. Got him. There we go. Nice job, Brash. Called Beacon. 0 for 2 with a K, leading off in the top of the eighth. First baseman, Ty France. Batting second, right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. And batting third, left fielder, Jared Kelenic. I'm going to check up on my puppy here real quick. Give me like 1 minute. Stop freaking call. Beacon. Oh, Kirby. Gave up one. That's all right. We still love you, George. I think the jury is still out sour for Ty. I think he's a guy that we can really root for, like Wu, and any guy that like we feel like confidence in. Sometimes guys are going to be it, and other guys are going to go through growing pains. But anytime it's the first year or two, yeah, there might be some shitty play, but do you see potential? Or do they bring the heaters? Do they have swagger? Do they work well with the teammates and the catcher? And do you see any like potential upside, good ceiling? So dribbler, one away. Well, Mariners are up 4-1. I think everyone that's a Mariner fan's doing pretty good. And I think the only downside for me is I go to a lot of Mariner festivities, but I will not be able to go to Seattle. But I do have two of my really good best friends that are going separately, so that's cool. At least that they'll be able to. I'll be in spirit with them there. But being able to see that home run derby and the best players and the best All Star game in any sport besides the NHL with the MLB All Star game, they actually fucking try. Um, but I'll be doing all of it here. Not the same, but I still will enjoy it. I love, obviously, All Star festivities, especially on the MLB side. It's the best. Come on, T. Oscar. Let's go, Teo. I think the next Diaz, we don't have it. We got Munoz, who should probably be pitching last, and then Seawald in the setup man role. But we don't. We need to be able to get a Diaz type guy. I would have loved if we could have kept that. It's like Mariano Rivera's don't grow on trees. You know, I'd like to get some lefties a part of the rotation, something better than Marco and Robbie Ray, something elite. You know, as a one elite starter and a nice elite mid reliever or closer. I don't know. I want to see some diversity on the lineup. Can't be all fucking righties all the time. Got to sprinkle in some fucking lefties. But I'll take this 4-1. They have a good chance to go 2 for 3 now. Damn, I froze my drink too much. It's a fucking slushy and I can't drink it. Frozen. Let's go, Jared. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Jared was our, easy landslide MVP for the first 50 games to keep us close with offense and great defensive plays, but has been in a little bit of a rut in the last 15 or 20 games. It's like after he started cooling down, then you got Teoscar heated up, Julio heated up, and JP's been heating up. And he's been getting really frustrated. You can tell he's been like almost ejected a couple times. He's definitely very mouthy with the umps, and a lot of times he deserves to say something. He needs to because a lot of times these umps are terrible. But once you talk shit to an ump, he ain't gonna help you later in the game. So if you fucking talk shit to him in the first or the third, you can't even think by the time it gets to the fifth, the seventh, or the ninth. You're not getting on. If it ends up being a questionable, strike zone, you're gonna get called out. He's not gonna give you the ball where it's at 50-50. You piss that guy off, he's going to, look for ways to get you out. So, I'm fucking nothing now because I can't get this thing open. It was going to be kiwi, strawberry, Snapple, or a mango. That's what I usually like to do. Trying to lose weight, be a better person, not drink as much. Oh, man. But if you put it in the freezer for like an hour and it gets like that, so much better. Yeah, I usually just do the Snapples or Gatorades. I mean, I used to drink beers on here like every day. But if you do that every day, not only are you going to gain a shitload of weight, on top of that, it costs a lot of money. Especially when I was doing like the Modelo Chiladas, like mango and the pineapple, and then like Modelo's or Coronas with lime. Yeah. Plus, I live in Oregon, so I'm more of a dispensary guy, anyways. They got breweries, right? And they got wineries. So you got your people that love the beer, and it doesn't have to be like IPA. You get all the people that love the wine, the winos, and then you get a lot of the people that will go to the dispensary. Oh, Fruitopia, Flavortown. Surprised that we were able to put up runs, but again, when you get a home run early or you get a big RBI early, you have a chance. And now we got Castillo, Wu, Gilbert, and Gilbert's coming off a complete game. Castillo, if he can just be the good Louise, we should be at least in it. And then Wu, I believe in Wu 100%. So it's just that he just needs to be able to get the ERA down, and instead of giving up like 3 home runs, try to do 1 or 2 if it's going to happen. And if that does happen, maybe we'll get enough run support and we win when you pitch. You can still fuck up a couple times, but don't fuck up 3 times, fuck up twice, and try to minimalize it, instead of a 3-run shot, maybe a solo shot. And then we get run support and then boom, Wu wins. So, this is in baby. Obviously, the closest thing to Diaz that we have now. I like guys like Munoz too, or like Diaz, where it's like you almost assume that they can get 3Ks because they're so good. But it's like if they don't get 3Ks, you get pissed off because they're so talented. But it's like two at the least. You get one or none, you're like, what the hell are we doing? It's like you're supposed to be that guy. And sometimes he lights out, but also like any other mid reliever or closer, sometimes you just get fucking rocked. Doesn't matter how good you are. And sometimes it could be that no name guy that rips you too. Oh baby. Whoa. Munoz. So I'm gonna give you that heater. Garcia, Olson, Otani, France, Seager, Lowe. Most RBIs versus the Astros since 2020. France is fourth. Golly. Dribbler right up the middle like that? Come on. I hate those little cheap base hits like that. It's like so elementary and shit. Just like it's a little bloop single. It just barely gets past the fucking shortstop or third baseman or second baseman. It's just like you just got it right in the gap. It was a good hit though. It's like, watch out, Kyle. We'll hit you. Not on purpose though. That's a baseball player right there. Tucker is like John Olerud, modern day, but better. Has got more power for homers. I like the lefties. 294, 13 homers, 55 ribbies. Get out of here. Join the Mariners. There we go. Two away. End of the eighth inning. Abreu flies out to center fielder Julio Rodriguez. 4-1 Mariners. Go to the top of the ninth. Oh, there it is. Get it, Julio. There it is. All right. All right, Seawald. All right, leading off for the Mariners in the top of the ninth inning, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Batting second, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And then batting third, unless they make a change, which they might, DHing Mike Ford. But anytime Kirby's playing or Miller, those are the wins that I think. And when Castillo and Gilbert win, I'm happy, but it's not as I think I'll be more happy when I get wins with Miller, Kirby, and Wu. They're kind of like the triple threat. Like I didn't really know if Wu would be able to and he's not in the same league as Miller or Kirby, nowhere near. But for a guy that could be a 4 or a 5, he could be one of the best 4 or 5s in Major League Baseball if he keeps honing on his skills. And that's something special. A 4 or a 5 that can have 10 Ks and you feel confident when they're out there, just like when your number one is out there. Oh, yeah. Suarez homered the center, 420 feet. Oh, no, 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 no. 5-1 Mariners. Even though I haven't got to see it yet though, but I will. I will, baby. Show me. Show me the ding. Nice job. More run support. Ooh, inside too. How dare you pitch him inside, make him go off the bag. Let's go. Get the trident. What's better than hitting one home run in a game? How about two? And that's what we need. We need like Cal Raleigh and Gino, certain guys that have been batting around 220 for the season to get closer to 250 to 260. And then hopefully at some point, for Suarez, he can get closer to 280, 290 at some point. I mean, he's got the skills to do it. Get the tridents out, baby. All right. Can I see it, please? Can I see it, please? Versus the Astros, he's batting 357 with a homer, 3 ribbies. Make it 2. No, 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 no. Oh, shit. Oh, back, 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 back. Gone. Like that? Whoa. I knew it was a homer. I didn't know it was like that, though. What happened to that boy? What happened to that boy? Wow. My goodness. 420. We were talking about dispensaries. Hey, yo. Let's go. Eugenio. Fly away. 5-1. This feels good. Anytime you play the Astros, this feels good. Because this is going to be better than the Angels because we already know with Trout's injury, they should start dipping naturally so we can take their spot. Now it's just a matter of fact catching up to the Astros and trying to surpass them, which is going to be a very difficult task. But again, if we keep winning 2 out of 3 every set or 3 out of 4, that's going to be a good look at the end of the season. We got her, man. What happened to that boy? My guy. Come on, Dumper. 1-2 count to the Dumper. Update on Paisley. I had a conversation today. So once I get settled in, like, what are we talking? Am I gonna, see her like once a month, or do I get her on the weekend? Like what are we talking? Because I want to make sure she gets her exercise. If you have like a pity or like a American Staffordshire, you can't just be like, oh, it needs to be walked an hour or 2 a day. I'll do 20 minutes every 3 days. That's not good. That's like terrible. So it sounds like if everything goes smoothly, I'll be able to have her for a week, and then she'll be here for a week. I'll have her for a week, and then they'll be here for a week. So I'll be able to have her at the very most, maybe 2 weeks. And if that happens, I won't have to get another dog. So that's a good sign, at least for my mental health and knowing that even when it's raining, I'm going to get the exercise done with her. So, it's going to be good. I need it for my mental health. It's just going to be weird walking around in the neighborhood with a leash and no dog. People are going to think I'm weird, but I got to be able to get the exercise going. And I mean, I definitely want to have another dog to have like every day because that's a big part of my life now. But I mean, I can't afford to get a new dog and then have Paisley there too. So if Paisley wins, now if I could have Paisley 100%, then it would be the real winner there. But I always try, man. I have tough days sometimes, but I always try to record every day. I try to get out and exercise every day. Spend time with my pup as much as possible. Appreciate being alive, and just try to be able to continue the legacy and the grind. Set a good example and make really good connections with people. Did he go? Yeah, but I think routines are the biggest thing for mental health. For anyone that struggles with it, that goes through depression or anxiety, which I do, and sometimes it's been pretty dark and deep. But if you keep a consistent good routine and you get outside every day, and you exercise, you get to hear the nature, it definitely helps. Even if it's only like 20, 30 minutes, it's really a life changer. And then that'll give you an opportunity to listen to music at least a little bit, and that's a big part too. Unless you're listening to it in the car or at home. But I typically, I mean, obviously, if I'm in a vehicle, yeah, I'll be listening. But I typically just don't turn music on in the house. I'm reading and spending time with Paisley. All right, top of the ninth, 5-1 Mariners. Come on, Jose. Top of the ninth, 5-1, 2 outs, 0-1 pitch. And that's an easy out. All right, let's go to the bottom of the ninth. Northwest Green. I don't know. Are you? Are you wearing it? I got Topa coming in. Slide out. Diaz, one away. Let's go. Yeah, Topa. Probably just trying to rest him. We don't really need him. It's not like the game is like 2-1, or 1-1, something of that nature. So don't use anybody if you don't need to. If we can get the dub, keep them fresh. We got a few more games against the Astros that we definitely can get our ass kicked. So come on, baby. Got to get McCormick. Oh, McCormick grounded out to the shortstop. 2 away. Yeah, 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 yeah. Bye-bye. See you later. Not today. Sorry, McCormick. Last but not least, 0 for 3, shortstop Jeremy Pena. Oh, Jeremy Pena flies out to left fielder Jared Kelenic, and that is the game. Let's go. Let's go. Wow. It feels good. It feels weird, but okay. Nice. Heck yeah. That feels good, man. Yeah. Awesome play. It's always good that especially the way that we played. We haven't played that great, but I think it does show you, like against the Rays and the Astros, supposedly teams that are a billion times better than the Mariners, that we have no shot. That when we actually can get our 5 to 6 runs, we can compete with any of the big boys. Like, I think that's really the magic number. Instead of 4 or 5 hits, how about 4 or 5 runs, 5 to 6 runs? Because I think 4 is not even really enough, but that 5 to 6 number, and then you get pitching that possibly gets you 7 to 10 Ks, or if you get a Kirby and you get a lower K game, but it's very methodical, ground outs and pop ups, we'll take that. Hell of a win. Fuck yeah. That was awesome. Tridents for everyone. Let's go. All right. Well, we have 18 minutes to go to the 3-hour mark. I can throw up some old school photos or new school. I'll kind of let the people in the room decide if we want to keep going for another 18 minutes and then call it a day to see if anyone else comes through, or do we want to just call it? I usually let you guys decide where you want to go from here if we want, because I can spend time with Paisley either way. And we had a very good day today from a couple people to really help. I appreciate you guys. So let me know what you're thinking, and we'll go from there. And we got to make sure we don't forget the last photo, the most important one. He's like, what is that? You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. Let's go. Do you have to go reflect? I mean, I know a lot of people typically got to go right after the game. I was going to say, I'll let you guys kind of decide what you want. If you want me to throw up some Griffey, Edgar Martinez, Randy Johnson, Harold Reynolds photos, we can do something like that. Or if we just want to say goodbye and I'll be back tomorrow for the next game with Castillo, baby, then we can do that too. I got plenty of time for you, and I got plenty of time for my pup as well. And I got a lot of Shark Fest and stuff to watch. So Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win, baby. Even Scott smiling. We won. We won. And it wasn't because of me. You got lucky, Scott. You got lucky because of Gino. 2-homer day, huh? Pretty cool. We don't normally see that, so. Altuve, Alvarez, Raul Ibanez. I have Freddie Garcia. Love Freddie. Raul was really big for me. I really liked him. Like he was always a good contact hitter. He was always a spark plug. Great personality. That's a nice name drop right there. Yeah, all those guys. You can go back Chris Bosio. You go through all the Alvin. Davis, the Harold Reynolds. Dave Valley, and then you go with Jay Buhner and Tino Martinez and John Olerud. Name drop, all the name drops, of course. And it just depends on how long people, Cameron. What's really funny? I was kind of a hater at first because I was like, no one can replace Griffey. But the cool thing is when you saw Cameron, he really surprised the shit out of you. Like he could actually hit homers, and anyone that can hit, 2 homers, 3 homers, 4 homers in a game, you're like, oh, okay. And his defense actually was pretty good too, but it just wasn't Griffey. But Dan Wilson, yep, I got the bobblehead right here. I got my little Randy Johnson, Dan Wilson, Griffey, Ichiro, Randy, Edgar. Let's go. Sexton. Yeah, 6'7", 6'8". Came from the Brewers. Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know how a lot of people feel necessarily about Robinson Cano, or Nelson Cruz. Obviously overpaid a lot for Robinson Cano and whatnot, but there was like their attempt to try to make a splash, but a lot of times that doesn't work. But yeah, a lot of those guys that you mentioned are very likable. A lot of good memories, and you don't have to be the most popular guy. You could be a Omar Vizquel, and not a lot of people remember him in a Mariner uniform. You remember him more for like the Indians and further on in his career and whatnot. Cleveland Indians. It's just crazy just to think about like the talent that we let go, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think we're at a good point where we can probably. I mean, what do you think, Sarah? Do you want to call it? Do you want to take it until tomorrow, or do you want to stay for? I know you weren't really feeling that good, but I'll let kind of the mods and the main people decide. And like I said, I don't mind. I mean, like I said, if we have people and we're on a dono train, hell, I can go usually 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. But usually once we end a game, at least as of late, we usually end it within 15 to 30 minutes after. So whatever you guys want. What are you feeling? How are you feeling, Sarah? Are you still sick? How are you feeling? I know Paisley's on the couch, and I am kind of hungry. I haven't ate anything in a long time, so. Wow. Doggy time. Yeah. And we got some really good contributions. From Sarah and from Reflect and from our boy, Mr. Williams. Big one, too. So, well, I appreciate you guys. I got some Shark Fest and some other shows to watch. I finished Mayans earlier this afternoon. I hope you feel better. We'll be back for tomorrow's Astros game and against the Mariners. I'm going to spend time with the puppies, try to soak in all that special time together. And I hope you guys have a great day. What a fantastic win. I did not know we would play like this, but I did have a feeling that we could get to this point if Kirby had a pretty good day, and it didn't mean necessarily getting 10 Ks. So nice job by George. He's the man. That's why he gets on the thumb over Julio, because we need awareness of who's better than Julio or on the Julio level. You guys are the best. Thank you so much to everyone that donated, everyone that watched, commented. Lauren, Reflect, Sarah, everyone in the building. You guys are awesome. Sour Vanilla, you as well. And we'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we can get another dub, another Go M's. I'm hoping. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.